Good evening to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our Tropical Weather Outlook video for today, August 15th, Friday, 2025. Tonight, we are talking about Erin, which is now a hurricane, and it is now beginning to rapidly intensify. It is a Category 1 now, but I would not be surprised if tomorrow morning we wake up to Erin probably nearing Category 3 major hurricane strength. So let's get right to it with Erin, starting off with a satellite image from cyclonic weather. Usually I use tropical tidbits, but thought I'd switch it up a little bit tonight. And you could see with Erin, once again, up to hurricane strength. It strengthened to a hurricane this afternoon. And you can see it looks like a rapidly intensifying hurricane. The eye is visible on infrared satellite, although it's not fully clear yet. But it just has that organized look, very pronounced outflow in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So wind is moving away from the center, and it's allowing for this storm to breathe. So the wind shear right around Erin is very slow, so we don't have to worry about wind shear impacting the storm anymore. So it's just going to take off from here on out, and you can even see these curling convective bursts wrapping around the eye. And Recon is in there right now, and they're finding an intensifying storm. Let me actually refresh to see if a new image from Recon came out. Not yet, but the pressure now is down to 982 millibars. That is what Recon found as of their latest flight, which is occurring right now. And in fact, with some of the flight level winds too, the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, which I'll show you in a little bit, I think is up to 85 miles per hour. But even that might be a little bit slow because flight level winds are already exceeding 90 knots, which would translate to the surface at 80 knots. So Erin might already be at 90 miles per hour or 80 knots in official maximum sustained winds, meaning that this is already a high-end Category 1. And we just know how the situation pans out with these systems, especially when they are rapidly intensifying into the night. We usually wake up to them being a near major hurricane, if not major hurricane strength storm, the next morning. So this is probably already beginning to do that. And once again, I would not be shocked if we wake up to Erin already being a major hurricane tomorrow morning. Luckily, though, and that actually takes me now to the track, Erin is probably going to stay away from, the Caribbean islands, although let me really quickly one more time bring you back to the satellite image. You can see that the outer fringes of Erin are being felt along portions of the northern Caribbean islands. There are tropical storm watches in effect, but Erin is probably going to stay to the north. And now that we are starting to get closer into range, I think it's safe to say that Erin will more than likely stay out to sea away from the U.S. East Coast. We are now starting to see a convergence in all of the model track guidance, pretty much showing a straight path going northwestward, and then eventually makes a turn north once it reaches the far eastern Bahamas, and then ends up going out to sea between the East Coast and Bermuda. So this might also spare Bermuda as well, which is also a good thing because there is population on Bermuda. And really quickly to show you what the National Hurricane Center advisory has right now, and the 11 p.m. advisory actually should be out. It's not out yet, but literally within a matter of minutes, it'll be out. And the 8 p.m. advisory had 85 miles per hour, minimum central pressure 982 millibars, and it's moving west-northwest right now at 17. We're probably going to see that change though. Oh, what did I bring it to? Whatever. But again, probably going to change 11 o'clock and to see 90 miles per hour. And once again, would not be surprised if this is a major hurricane tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, though, in the rest of the Atlantic, just to really quickly go over what's happening elsewhere. First of all, 98L is dead. That failed to form before it reached the Texas coastline. I guess it was doing really well yesterday, but then it fell apart last night, and I guess it had to start over this morning in organization, but it already reached the Texas and northeastern Mexico coastline too quickly, so it wasn't able to develop. So no more worrying about 98L. So that's completely out of the picture, but obviously will bring lots of heavy rain to northern Mexico and southern Texas, and obviously that is not something you should, toss to the side, so please keep in mind about that. And then off the East Coast here, we have another area of interest, and this seems like it's just an endless cycle of a bunch of these areas that try to develop off the East Coast but just fail to do so, and looks like this will probably be another of those. And this was actually associated with a area that we had in the Gulf of Mexico a few days ago, if you remember that, which also failed to develop. And this one only has a 10% chance of development, both within the next 48 hours and 7 days. So would not worry about this developing. But obviously, you never know. It is the month of August after all. Things can spin up really quickly. But let's really quickly focus our attention back on Erin, since we went over what's happening in the Atlantic. But really all the talk is on Erin, and obviously because it's going to become a major hurricane within the next few days. National Hurricane Center track, or official National Hurricane Center forecast, has it as a hurricane overnight tomorrow night and into Sunday morning. Although, again, I would not be shocked if already by tomorrow morning we wake up and Erin is already a major hurricane or close to it by then. And the reason why I say that is it has pretty much everything going for it. Wind shear is very low within its vicinity. It's stacked very well underneath an upper level anticyclone, which, as I showed you in the satellite imagery earlier, is allowing it to have very, very pronounced outflow, which of course helps tremendously with rapidly intensifying systems. So very low wind shear. Wind shear will probably tick up a little bit, I think, as it passes north of the islands, but then it'll really bomb out once it's east of the Bahamas and turning northward between the East Coast and Bermuda. And I'll show you what the models show in a second, but this is really going to bomb out and probably become a pretty powerful hurricane just off the East Coast. But sea surface temperatures as well, this is also a part of another factor. It's progressively heading into warmer sea surface temperatures. It was over 28 degrees Celsius waters throughout today and the last few days, but now it's heading into 29 degrees Celsius waters. So things are really ticking up for it. It's going to have lots of warm water to work with, and it gets even warmer near the Bahamas. And because of that, the models really, really bomb out Erin, and I'll show you what the models show now. Here's the GFS as of the 18Z, and obviously it intensifies quite a bit over the next several days. And just off the East Coast here, just southwest of Bermuda and just off the East Coast, decently off the East Coast, enough that we probably won't see impacts directly, although rip currents will probably be a very huge issue for the coastline over the next several days. So please, 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 please keep that in mind, because rip currents are also very risky and can cause loss to life. But 936 millibars is what Erin bottoms out on the GFS, and then slowly it turns to the north and then eventually to the northeast and stays away from the East Coast. So good for that. But then do not breathe a sigh of relief, because right here on the GFS, yet another storm follows right in its tracks directly behind it. And this is probably going to be something that we're going to have to watch over the next several days as well. I know there was a very crazy run of the GFS earlier today, and I'm not gonna bring it up because you know my rule. Once it's beyond 7 days, you really can't take it any seriously at all. But all I'm gonna say is, do not breathe a sigh of relief that Erin is going out to sea, because it is not over. Erin is just the beginning. We are now, in fact, literally on this time frame here. As Erin bottoms out, it's next Wednesday, August 20th, and that is the first day of the ramp up, the climatological ramp up to the peak of the hurricane season. So it really is just the beginning with this hurricane season. And I'm telling you, watch out, because as you can already see on the GFS right behind it, as we head into the end of next week, we're going to have to watch for something else, and there's probably more waves behind that that'll be of concern too. And let me really quickly show you what the Euro shows. And pretty much right in lockstep with the GFS, bottoms it out pretty substantially in the 940s. Not as quite as strong as the GFS shows, but Euro is a little bit less with intensity typically. But also it brings it very close, but once again away from the U.S. East Coast, but does still bring it pretty close. And you never know, there could still be track deviations further to the west, or maybe even further back to the east, where Bermuda would have to watch a little bit more. But Bermuda's right here. Maybe they still might need to watch. Maybe it could come back to the east and it impacts Bermuda directly. Or this could still shift within the next few days to the west, and this ends up coming much closer to the outer banks of the Carolinas than we are thinking now. So do not keep your guard off, but at least for the most part, something that both the GFS and the Euro are agreeing on, this will probably go north and then eventually turn off to the northeast and stay away from at least making a direct landfall along the U.S. East Coast. So we won't have to worry about that, but in the meanwhile, it will become a strong storm. And finally, to top it off, really a run that I want to show you and a model that I want to show you, the Icon. We have not used the Icon much at all this season, but I want to show you it now because this is truly incredible. Look at how strong this gets just to the east of the Bahamas. 904 millibars. It's very close to what Katrina's intensity was. And luckily, well, the Icon doesn't really go that far out, but I'm pretty sure if it were to go further out, this will probably stay off the East Coast. But that is quite an intense storm that happens here. And again, it just proves that Erin is probably going to intensify very, very quickly here over the next several days as it moves westward. As I've been saying for a long time, the environment, especially in the southwestern Atlantic, near the Bahamas and just north of the islands, has been very nuclear, and now we're really going to start to see that come into full force as Erin is now rapidly intensifying and is continuing to progress westward. And again, I will not be shocked if we wake up to a major hurricane tomorrow. But that's it for now, because there's not really much else happening right now. Recon is in there. They're probably going to continue to find a storm strengthening. And we will see just how strong this gets overnight. But until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe. Peace, love, and kindness to you all. I'll be back with tomorrow morning for another update on Erin, and I'll probably have multiple updates throughout the day tomorrow on Erin as well, since it'll probably be a very strong storm tomorrow. So please make sure to stay tuned for that and subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you found it informative. Subscribe. Once again, subscribe. I especially emphasize subscribe because we'll be having a lot of these videos for you over the next several days. And I do apologize, by the way, that I wasn't able to post yesterday or today throughout the day. Had to wait till the nighttime to do it. But at least I'm getting this out to you tonight. And I hope to see you again tomorrow.